Hello everyone, welcome to today's news charter. Now we will see what are all the important topics which were covered in the news of today. Before starting the news itself, let's start with a prelims practice question. Let's read the question. The term Three Brotherhood Alliance has been in news regularly in the recent times. Which among the following is it related to? So this is why you need to read the newspaper on your own so that you will know what are all the terms which are in news, what kind of events are going on. So this kind of questions are regularly asked in the examination, so you should know about it. So four options are given. One, an alliance fighting against the Russian army in Ukraine, an alliance fighting against Israel in Gaza Strip, an alliance fighting against the junta in Myanmar. Junta is the army of Myanmar. An alliance fighting against the Saudi Arabian army in Yemen. Try to answer this. Wait until the session is over. In the end, I will explain the answer for this question. Viksit Bharat Sankalp Yatra. Viksit Bharat Sankalp Yatra was promoted by the Prime Minister of the country itself. So we need to know what exactly is this yatra about. The aim of the yatra is to generate awareness regarding central government's welfare schemes. In India, one of the major problem is people do not know what kind of schemes are going on, what rights they have in the country, and what support the government is giving them. So this is a major problem in India. So it is the Viksit Bharat Sankalp Yatra which is going to solve this problem. How are they going to solve the problem? By creating awareness about the central government's welfare schemes. The major aim of Viksit Bharat Sankalp Yatra is for to achieve 100% saturation of government's flagship schemes. So the aim of this yatra is to ensure that 100% result is achieved by all the government schemes so that people should be completely aware of the scheme. It showcases developments in agricultural fields, highlights the milestones achieved in 100% saturation of the government's flagship schemes. So the largest ever outreach by the government of India to the people about the schemes and yojanas which are implemented by the government is Viksit Bharat Sankalp Yatra. So awareness creation is very important for a government, and this scheme aims to do the same. What are the major key takeaways from the COP28? The Conference of Parties 28 happened in Dubai recently, so we need to know what are all the major key takeaways from this COP28 because it will be very helpful in your mains examination and in prelims if they are giving some statement based questions it is going to be extremely helpful. The first COP happened in 1995 and it took place in Berlin. COP28 in COP28 it is mentioned that all fossil fuels have to be phased out completely. In COP26 which happened in Glasgow, what was told is that we will try to phase out coal, and even in 26 and 27 we didn't accept that we will have to move away from fossil fuels completely. We always told that we will try to reduce, but in COP28 they have clearly mentioned that we are going to move away from fossil fuels completely. The aim is to achieve net zero emission by 2050. Net zero emission means whatever carbon is getting emitted, that will be completely taken back also through developing of more forest or carbon sequestration techniques, etc. No major country, this is a major important point. What they have understood is no big country has taken any step to reduce the emissions in such a way it will meet the 2 degree Celsius target. So the Paris Agreement, which happened in the Paris Agreement, which happened in 2015, clearly told that we have to reduce the temperature rise to less than 2 degrees Celsius. Recently, the COP28 clearly mentions that until now, no major countries have taken measures to such an extent that it will result in reduction of the temperature rise to 2 degrees Celsius. One major commitment which we have provided is we will try to triple the renewable capacity, all countries. Another big achievement is $725 million has been pledged for loss and damage fund. Oil and gas decarbonization charter is also important because it is a voluntary commitment to net zero emission by oil and gas operations by 2050. 50 leading global companies have signed this agreement. Kashi Tamil Sangamam is an important topic because regularly the Prime Minister has been talking about Kashi Tamil Sangamam. The promotion of the idea of Ek Bharat, Shrestha Bharat, that is unity of the entire country. Every person should be aware of the diversity of the country. Two important ancient educational centers of the country were Kashi and Tamil Nadu. So this particular scheme or this particular measure is going to link both these ancient educational centers. So what did they do? Over 2,500 people from Tamil Nadu, representing 12 different categories such as teachers, students, government employees, etc. They traveled to Varanasi and its neighboring areas. They had a 8-day tour. In National Educational Policy of 2020, it envisages that modern thought should be linked with the ancient philosophies and academics and technologies of India. So this Kashi Tamil Sangamam is one step to achieve the national educational policy. Why this topic is very important? Because in GS1 you have Indian society. In Indian society, there is a topic called diversity in India, regionalism in India. So to prevent the regionalism in the country, measures such as this is very important, and that's why you should know about it. Puri Jagannath temple has been in news, so we need to know exactly what are all the most important points for examination perspective. In GS1, you have art and culture. In prelims, you get a lot of questions from art and culture, so we should know about it. The Puri Jagannath temple was constructed in 12th century by King Anantavarman Sodaganga Deva of the Eastern Ganga dynasty. Puri Jagannath temple is called as the Yamanika Tirtha. Yama means the god of death. Yamanika Tirtha, it is named because person who is going here can win over Yama. That is the faith. The temple was called as White Pagoda because the pagodas of the temple are white in nature. Pagodas are the gopurams. So it is white in nature and it is a part of the Chardham pilgrimage. Chardham pilgrimage, what are all the places you need to know about it? In front of the entrance, there is a Aruna Stamba, which is called as Sun Pillar. This Aruna Stamba of Jagannath temple was actually taken from the Konark Sun temple. You should be knowing about it. Jagannath temple is very famous for its Rath Yatra, and the term Juggernaut of English has been taken from the Jagannath Rath Yatra only. The English people who came here were surprised by the size of the Ratha of Jagannath temple, and they gave the term called Juggernaut. Jagannath was not easily pronounceable by the English, so they termed it as Juggernaut. Juggernaut means very big machinery which is unstoppable. That was the size of the Ratha of Jagannath temple. That's why it is very famous. Kalinga style of architecture is followed here in art and architecture. Kalinga style of architecture is there. You should study about it. Pancharatha, 5 different chariots in 5 different direction. So all these terms you should know. In prelims, there is a very good chance you can get a question. An important point from mains examination point of view, India's National Electricity Plan 2022 to 27 for 5 years, it plans to add nearly 87,000 megawatt in this period in the form of coal-fired capacity. Why I have included this point here? Because we are talking about phasing out of coal, whereas the National Electricity Plan envisages to add nearly 87,000 megawatt of coal-fired capacity in India. But there is no other way because India cannot completely invest in renewable energy now itself because it is very costly. So we will have to depend a little bit on coal also. Switching from coal to gas reduces emissions by 50% when producing electricity and 33% when providing heat. So the second point can be used in a conclusion of an answer, especially in GS3 under environment. The first point you should remember to mention what measures we can even take from now on. One mains question for practice with respect to the aim of reducing global temperature rise to less than 2 degrees Celsius from the pre-industrial era. What measures have been taken globally? So it is a 10-mark question. So you can give an introduction. In the introduction itself, you can start by mentioning COP28, which happened in Dubai, in which we have taken a pledge that we will completely come up with net zero emission by 2050. And then you can start with global measures they have that has been taken until now about greenhouse gas emissions. What measures have been taken in environment? You study all these things. You just have to mention 5 different steps that has been taken and give a conclusion. That's all. An important point to be noted down from prelims examination perspective. The Global Methane Pledge. Global Methane Pledge is a voluntary framework supporting nations to take action to reduce the methane emission. So this number is very important. 30% methane emission will be reduced from 2020 level by 2030. So 30% by 2030 from 2020's level. So how much amount of methane was emitted in 2020? From that point, we will try to reduce 30% of methane. All right. So this was the prelims practice question of the day. The term Three Brotherhood Alliance has been in news regularly. So we need to know what this Three Brotherhood Alliance is. Three Brotherhood Alliance is a alliance which is fighting against the Myanmarese army in Myanmar. So especially in states such as Kachin, Chin, and then Shan. In these three regions, the Three Brotherhood Alliance has been fighting against the army. You should know about it. So that would be all for today. All the best. Study well. We'll meet tomorrow.